In the vast automotive universe, there are vehicles that, without being mass-produced for global consumption, manage to achieve cult status. The Chevrolet COE, cab-over engine trucks of the 1940s are a clear example. Although they never rolled on our roads, their grotesque yet fascinating figure was etched into the collective memory, thanks to an unexpected piece of pop culture. Welcome to a new video. Get ready to discover the story of a revolutionary design and a metal monster that became a big screen legend. If you enjoy this type of content, subscribe to our channel. It's free. Now let's begin. The wheeled terror of cinema, the unusual hoodless Chevrolet COE trucks from the 1940s are best known in the post-Soviet space, thanks to the 2001 film Jeepers Creepers. While they never drove on our roads, many of us have seen this classic film adaptation of the horror stories American teenagers tell each other around the campfire at night, about a creature that takes no prisoners and disposes of its victims in the most twisted ways the narrator's sick imagination can conceive. Director Victor Salva had a boundless imagination when it came to dismemberment of all kinds. However, in the format of a rather naive horror film by modern standards, the filmmakers managed to shoot some pretty good chase scenes in the first part, and in the third. The sinister machine was even given one of the leading roles. Few will remember the names of the protagonists of the original film today, but everyone will remember that charismatic rusty truck with tinted windows, a bumper instead of a front fender, and a crooked grille missing a crossbar, like a tooth on a face broken after a good fight in a rural disco. This creepy movie machine now has almost as iconic a status as the white Challenger from Vanishing Point or the yellow Mustang from Gone in 60 Seconds. Incidentally, I've talked about both of them before. The revolutionary design of the 1930s. The 1930s were a period of advancement for all areas of industrial design. Aviation began to develop at an accelerated pace, and aerodynamic shapes, inspired by flying machines, became incredibly in demand on the ground, regardless of the model, a simple toaster or a diesel locomotive. Naturally, all this was reflected in cars and trucks, which, by the end of the decade, resembled their predecessors of 10 years earlier, no more than a steam hammer resembles an anvil with a sledgehammer. The 1930s saw a true revolution in the consumer sector across all industries. Mere rationality was no longer enough for the customer, and in the new market realities, manufacturers had to meet demands. A comparison of a 1931 Chrysler sedan with a 1934 Chrysler Airflow demonstrates the unprecedented speed of design development. In fact, in the pursuit of aerodynamic fashion, even tractors became aerodynamic. Although, apparently, drag coefficient and lift are the last things on the minds of a farmer who spends most of his life in a cornfield. It was in these circumstances, roughly speaking, that the new line of Chevrolet trucks was born in 1941, unified under the general classification AK series, with the main unifying factor being precisely the streamlined design. The AK series included all Chevy trucks, from light delivery trucks and vans, as well as carry-all suburban passenger models, to heavy-duty vehicles with a payload capacity exceeding 1 ton, which included both traditional hooded and hoodless models, designated as cab-over engine units, or COE for short. Incidentally, a hooded representative of Chevy's AK series also appeared in the original Jeepers Creepers movie. Advantages and challenges of COE design. The COE models were primarily distinguished by their wheelbase length, from the standard 279 centimeters to the extra-long 403 centimeters. Chevy hood models could be even longer, with a wheelbase of almost 5 meters, used primarily for bus construction. Like all hoodless trucks of the era, Chevy COEs, and similar GMC models, had a rudimentary hood that only provided access to the radiator and brake cylinder. The engine itself was located directly under the cab, so all other repair and maintenance work had to be performed from inside the cab, which of course didn't tilt. Buyers could purchase a truck ready for various tasks, or just the bare chassis with the cab, or even just the front end with the windshield. These chassis were used to build complete vans, like those used by the Creeper. The more compact dimensions of the COE compared to bonnet trucks were their main advantage. Short-nosed trucks had a smaller turning radius and allowed for a reduced overall length of the tractor-trailer combination. They also offered improved visibility. However, the driver had to pay a high price for these advantages. Despite the appearance of the so-called passenger-type instrument panel in 1941, one cannot speak of operator comfort in the modern sense of the word. Painted metal and a bench. Those were all the amenities. It is true that there was a special crank that allowed the entire windshield to be raised for better ventilation. In summer, the cab of a COE was unbearably hot, as the 6-cylinder side valve engine, which generated a lot of heat, was literally underfoot, and in those years, no one cared about thermal insulation. The driver, however, was worried, turning the steering wheel without power steering and dreaming of hitting the highway quickly, where he could reach at least 35 mph with all the windows open. That was the top speed the engines used in Chevy trucks at the time could reach. There's not much to say about these engines. A 3.5 or 3.9-liter inline-6 engine with a single-barrel carburetor was offered, producing 80 or 93 horsepower, respectively. These early engines were mated to 3- or 4-speed manual transmissions. The touch of luxury and the lasting legacy, however, the exterior was redolent with a far from proletarian luxury, once again emphasizing how 20th century Americans applied chrome everywhere, regardless of the vehicle's purpose. The bumper and the massive radiator grille were chrome-plated, consisting of 2 segments with vertical and horizontal slats. It covered virtually the entire front of the truck and was completed with an imposing emblem, the size of which seemed excessive even by premium car standards. A thin chrome trim surrounded the entire cab, and the junction of the 2 windshields was also covered by a shiny badge. Naturally, trucks produced directly during World War II for military use lacked chrome trim. But after its end, everything returned to normal. As early as 1947, the entire Chevy truck model line was completely and significantly updated, both technically and in terms of design. It was at this point that the design styles of Chevrolet passenger cars and trucks finally diverged. For the latter, the so-called advanced design began to be applied. A design that combined both a completely new appearance for the time and quite innovative design solutions, such as telescopic shock absorbers or an integrated radio receiver. The Advanced Design Series trucks were produced until 1955. They were divided into 3 lines. Passenger cars and vans were called Suburbans, light trucks were called Thriftmasters, and the latter eventually led to the appearance of the well-known Silverado model. Heavy-duty vehicles with a payload capacity exceeding 1 ton began to be designated Loadmasters. This line included the revamped Chevy COE models. The pinnacle of its development, ultimately, was the Chevrolet Titan model, also known as the GMC Astro. The hoodless Chevrolet COE trucks, with their grotesque yet completely in the spirit of the time design, were simple, like the vast majority of commercial machinery of those years. As reliable as a cast-iron vise, and as unwavering as a trucker at a roadside diner. They became one of the symbols of 1940s automotive America, and today deservedly enjoy cult status, not only among fans of the Jeepers Creepers franchise. A vast community of enthusiasts has formed around these trucks, investing tens, even hundreds of thousands of dollars in their projects, restoring them to their factory original state, or creating incredible restomods, bringing their most daring ideas to life in metal. They equip them with air suspension, install 7-liter big blocks, and experiment with paint and design. This truck is just one of hundreds, or rather thousands, of examples of how reverently and respectfully Americans treat their automotive history. We've reached the end of this video. Comment in the comments, like the video, subscribe, and activate the bell to enjoy future videos like this one. See you next time.